It's a real great pleasure to me to moderate this amazing session on the IT investment funds in Eurasia. With the organizers, would like to ask put the presentations. We have few presentations shortly about our company, what we are doing, and after that we are opening up the panel. So we have really stellar panelists from different parts of the world, and I'm sure we're gonna make it very effective and interactive. Можно попросить презентацию, пожалуйста? Yes. Great. I'm Sardor Mukhamedaliev, born and raised in Tashkent, currently living mostly for two beautiful cities, Almaty and Tashkent. I'm a founder of Biz Network, 5M Club, and also regional partner of ICLUB. This is an angel investor club, and have extensive 20+ years experience in the mainly CIS and the Silk Road countries in this corporate world. So we are presenting the TA Ventures. It's a Swiss-based VC fund. So far invested 230+ startups with $66 million invested, and more than 70 exits with 6 IPOs, and currently we have in our portfolio 12 unicorns. So we co-invest together with more than 3,000 blue chip VC funds, and also we have an angel investor club, which is iClub. This is our portfolio, and mainly we are investing as an early stage, pre-seed, seed, and Series A, and mainly our geography is US and Europe, and also we are investing to the region as well, and we are more than happy to invest Central Eurasian region to the startups and early stage. These are some of our portfolio startups. I'm sure most of them you know, maybe you already invested to these companies. And these are our unicorns. Mainly these are unicorns from US, UK, Germany, and Israel. And we have an iClub, Angel Investor Club. Do we have here the angel investors? Could you please raise your hand if there is an angel investor or would love to join? Yes, I see the few hands. So you can scan this, and you can welcome to join our global community. Who has more than 700+ angel investors and in these geographies, and we are expanding for the other geographies as well. This is shortly about us and how we can be helpful in terms of funds and investments and the startups. So, and the next would love to give you the presentation for Aitugan, Zhaksymbay, Deputy CEO of Qazaqstan Investment Corporation. The floor is yours. Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Can we put the other presentation? My name is Aitugan Zhaksymbay. I am a Deputy CIO of Qazaqstan Investment Corporation. Our company, the fund of private equity and venture capital funds. If we go, sorry.
Пожалуйста, следующую презентацию поставьте, пожалуйста. Спасибо.
Yeah, the second one. Yeah, this is a brief information regarding our company. We was established in 2007 as a development institution, which focused on growth and diversification of the national economy through creation of private equity and venture capital funds. Our mission is to play a leading role in the development of private equity market in venture, to develop venture ecosystem in Kazakhstan and region. This is a short summary. We mainly invest in all sectors of economy. It's SMEs, renewable energy, agriculture, tech, and transport and logistics. We invest globally and in Kazakhstan as well. Our key segments which we focus are private equity, venture capital, PPP and infrastructure, and distressed asset market. So this is a short highlight of our key figures. We're 100% subsidiary of National Holding by Terek. Our total commitments in the funds where we are participating as an LP around 0.7 billion US. Total commitments of all LPs in the funds which we are participating is around 2.4 billion. We have around 50 partnerships with international financial institutions, which we act as an LP together or co-invest, do co-investments with them. Our role and VC market activities in Kazakhstan venture ecosystem. First of all, it's providing funds for tech startups through our VC funds. We have like 3 active VC funds. I will shortly go on the next slide. We also increase investability of the startups and professional competencies of domestic tech entrepreneurs through our acceleration programs. We also have a subsidiary company, Big Global Ventures, which focus on providing best practices for business angels and fund managers through providing training programs. Yeah. This is 3 funds. We have total commitments around $30 million US in VC funds, which has currently open investment period. The first 2 funds, 500 startups and Quest Ventures, are mainly focused on early stage companies. Total commitment there is around 20 million, and we have the venture capital, which mainly focus on later stage VC companies on the growth and expansion. So as of now, we have invested already 4.5 million in 37 different IT startups. All of them are financed through these 3 funds. This is the one of our current portfolio of the funds, portfolio companies of these funds. You can see here some familiar maybe companies. We also do have a digital accelerator, which we held during 2019-2020. We had 3 batches for 10 companies where we provided accelerated programs, and after that we provided with the investment of 50K per one project. Yeah, basically that's it.
Thank you, but again, for the presentation. Next is Abdul Sharopov, CEO of Sarmo Labs and advisor to Aloqa Ventures, coming from Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Abdul, floor is yours, 5 minutes, please.
Hi everyone. Yeah, testing. Awesome. So let's see if this works. Yeah, so we're taking things very kind of early stage. So we noticed that I've been in the region in the past 2 years, and there's been an issue of many startups that failed to reach the seed stage. And it's for these common reasons, you know, like they're usually misguided. They try to build like a perfect product from day one. They're bad at communicating, at selling. Their products are indefensible, usually like consumer tech that's easy to copy and no really moat there, you know? So, and there's plenty of funding around. So as we can see, QIC and other funds, I've worked with a few funds already. We're struggling to actually deploy our funds, but, and like excess of $100 million in the region, right? But we're actually concerned more about deal flow than startups are concerned about like actually fundraising. So the studio model is something that we don't see much of in the region. So ICLUB has done very well with this. About 150 companies that they've built from the idea stage all the way up to an acquisition or IPO. Coinbase, Authy, Twilio are common names that you might have heard of, and their success rate is quite good, as you can see. So what we do as a studio is we act as a co-founder, providing AI model training, product development, marketing, and corporate partners. We basically start from, we brainstorm for different hypotheses and validate from day one. So basically talk to corporates and other businesses, mostly go towards B2B solutions. And then we do a quick MVP at most 2 weeks, maybe a month, but that's very rare. And then we do go-to-market, so basically bring in a PM and a salesperson, so a product manager and sales. And then we basically try to do everything to get them to a seed round with Aloqa Ventures or a few others. And so that just means getting to roughly 10,000 in monthly revenue. And when we do that, we basically form a company where 80% of the company is owned by employees, CTO, and the CEO. We've done this quite well since July. So once we launched, we built the first sentiment analysis model in the Uzbek language. So this is super useful for corporates to understand what their users are saying on social media. Like, so it scores it whether it's positive or negative, whether users are happy about some PR campaign. And this is something that we're piloting with the largest supermarket chain in Uzbekistan, so Korzinka. And this is something that a lot of other corporates would need. And it's a startup that many founders, wouldn't organically come to this problem. They just would never see that this is even a problem to deal with. Plus, it's very defensible. No one's building any NLP models for Turkic languages yet, and it has the potential to expand to Kazakhstan and Turkey because the languages are very similar. And similarly, another NLP solution is we notice that a lot of people are learning English. They need to practice their English, and so we built like a speaking bot. It has 17,000 users. And yeah, this is something that we're integrating with learning centers. So that's me. I have been helped start Aloqa Ventures. It's a fund with roughly 8 million with a portfolio of 20 startups. We only launched last June. And so we invested quite quickly into many startups. And so it's doing quite well. We're in the money so far. Battery or Digital, so it's a fund with a few unicorns in frontier markets. And Plug and Play, I've helped launch their Tashkent office last year. And my CTO, he got his master's in AI from Singapore, and he's a bronze medalist in the Math Olympiad. So we're really going after with the tech focus. And yeah, we're even building a space where founders can live and work. So this is something that is quite common in Silicon Valley. Haven't seen it in the region, and this will be ready actually next month, end of next month. So we've already almost finished that. So thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Abdul, for the presentation. Our next speaker is Dumitru Vlah, coming from Moldova, and he's from Tekwill Academy, one of the leading IT academies. Please.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'll give you a little bit of taste of Eastern Europe. I'm from Moldova. Maybe I'm not looking Eastern European, but I'm from Vlah, from a small country named Moldova. And I have a question for you guys. Presentation. I have a question. If you'll have $1 billion to invest, you'll have to choose from one country. For example, Moldova, Estonia, or Israel. I know for sure Moldova will not be in the first place. And I checked some of your portfolios, and I know that. I did my due diligence to say that. And the question is why? Why? You don't like the country? You don't like the food? Food is amazing. Food. Wine is also amazing. You don't like the language? We speak Russian, Romanian, English very well. You don't like the weather? Weather is pretty nice. The thing about Moldova is, if you don't know, our export in tech sector is like more than $500 million per year. And we have only 20,000 people in this sector. And we are doing a lot of outsource, And our revenues on IT sector are 700 millions. But actually, we don't have some VCs in our country. And I'll try now to say why. Because we just started to building our ecosystem. Ecosystems of attracting founders, for attracting not only founders, but actually very high-skilled specialists. And I will say this will be a general ecosystem simplified, but I'll try to make it very simple. First of all, we're working on our good regulation. Good regulation is very good because your money should be safe. And what we want to do now is just copy some countries and to adopt a law regulation for another country. I think in 2 years we'll have that. everyone is saying, okay, you are just copying, you'll copy-paste a law. No, it's not working like that. You need years to implement a good regulation. The second one, everyone's saying we are very, how you say the antonym for rich? Poor, yeah, the poor country. And the thing is, we need to shift our mindset in Moldova, or maybe countries that have our problems, because we don't have, now we have only one business angel network, and everyone from there are from construction, not from IT. And from there, for them, IT sector is something it's like, I don't know, you need to explain a lot of things about AI for them. But the thing is, funds or money, they have a cool property, they appear. What are the opportunities? And we now, in Moldova, we try to switch our mindset from searching for funds, for searching how to build products, or to make that opportunities, and money will come. But investments are all about the future. When we want to put that $1 in this ecosystem, what we expect? $2 back, yeah? But who shapes the future, actually? Yeah, for sure, people. People, or how to say, people are the king of this ecosystem. When I mean people, I say entrepreneurs, subject matter experts, educators, workforce, students, and so on. The list keep be long as enough. And this is the bottleneck now in Moldova. We are doing outsource. We have highly specialists now because, as I said, 20,000 of people bringing $500 million of tech exports. But we need that entrepreneur's mind. And this is what we're trying to do now. But the thing about legislation or fund, you can clone the people. You need years to do that. And the good thing, you can raise them. And what we witness in Moldova, and our main focus now, is education. And what we witness is education works as a snowball, compounding effect. As many people we try to attract in our educational project, tech, accelerators, more people want to be in. This is our ecosystem. Actually, this is all projects for startups, hubs. We have our association of IT sectors, but to show you the numbers, we have our sponsorship from our USAID and Sweden from 9 million for our projects. Our projects are all related with education, with tech sector, or entrepreneurs. And when I say about numbers, we have already in our 5 years programs, already 100,000 people teaching for tech, learning tech, entrepreneurship, and so on. And this is our main focus, to make that human capital to work for us. And our next move in our country, actually, where I think the countries like that is transitioning from selling people hours, like expensive to richer economies, to developing products with added value. And this is what we want now, is to go from outsource to products. And because we have that tech people, but we need just to gather them with a people with mindset for business. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dumitru. So now we would like to thank for all the presentation. We're opening up our panel. Mainly we'll discuss about the IT investments in the region, and we have angel investors and venture investors. My first question will be to Mr. Murat Abdrakhmanov. He's a super angel and investor who invested more than 40 plus projects with 10x's. So overall, globally, we have around 10,000 venture funds. But if we take, for example, Central Eurasia and Caucasus countries, I guess we can count around 20, 30 VC funds, more or less. And why do you think these VC funds are developing less than we are expecting? What are the key obstacles in the region, in your perspective, Murat?
Yeah, you are right. It's just not a few, but 20, 30 maybe VC funds for whole regions. And I'm a personal investor. I feel it like a semi-god. It means that I have some money. It means every startup just touch me and raise money. It means that in the region we have the substantial deficit of the money for startups ecosystem at all. And for new funds, it's difficult to raise money on the local market because it's beginners, it's first-timers. It means that professional investors, not venture, financial investors not trust because they don't have track records It means that this is problem. It's egg or chicken or egg. What's the first? And in this case, we are definitely need help of state. And Kazakh Invest Corporation make a great deal, invest money to 500 500 to Quest, to Da Vinci Fund, and I very appreciate it. And this practice could be expand even. And also, it's very good approach if we will invite a professional venture investor who have reputation, who have track records. And it's not, from my opinion, my point of view, it's not too hard to raise money on the local markets, because a lot of money in Kazakhstan are particular. It's not a problem with money at all. It means just we need some right institution who can manage it in the right way. Today it's, let's say, greenfield. It means no anyone right institution who can collect money and satisfy all international standards for this case. And it means that also I would like to say that it's we are not discoverers. It means that venture industry, it's so well structured worldwide. It means that we should just make copy-paste of best practice. You can see to Estonia, to Israel, to UK, to US. It's just implement best practice. It doesn't need to create something new. That's all.
Thank you, thank you. My next question is Jay, Onda, who's traveling from San Francisco, and Jay has also great experience, extensive in the investing to the US and other startups globally. So what do you think, what we need to this region in terms of development of these investments, IT investments in the Central Eurasia?
Sure. First and foremost, thank you very much for having me here. You know, over the last 2 days, I had lots of conversations, just learning what's happening on the ecosystem, and there's a lot of things that are going right? So there's a lot of positive effects here. So I want to make sure that that's really established. But there's really 3 things that need to happen, right? The first thing is awareness. You know, people need to be aware of the opportunity here. Like, for example, I didn't know that there was the space station here that's talking to the ISS. So that means that there's an opportunity for aerospace. There's a lot of aerospace initiatives happening on the early stage of a flywheel starting to turn. So it's more of an opportunity. It's just where we are in Kazakhstan, and that's okay, right? We're learning from our peers. We're learning from success stories all over the world. Now we're applying it here. The third point really is about VC education, the sophistication of angels to understand what value-added VCs mean. And so when you have that trifecta of opportunity, naturally more VC funds will establish when you see quality startups, right? And so again, you know, I feel like that Kazakhstan is actually exiting the first phase of startup ecosystem development. But really, you know, as you mentioned too, we need to bring best practices. We need to bring outside talent in to share what that really means. Because a lot of times entrepreneurship, venture investing, it can't be taught in a book, right? It can't be taught by a professor. It actually has to be physically experienced. And so again, you know, that flywheel slowly turning, how do we accelerate it, I think is kind of the next level of conversation that's to be had.
Thank you, Jay, for your great inputs. My next question is to Abdul. Abdul, you are mostly spend your time with different VCs, the funds in Uzbekistan as well. What do you think? What is the key obstacles and the bottlenecks that the Uzbek venture funds development?
I just talked about it on my presentation, so I think that's a key thing, right? Like good startups, but there's a few funds that'll be launching over the next few months. So I think what Aloqa Ventures, the work that we've done in launching it with Aloqa Bank, who's the main LP. This corporate venture fund that we've done, it's really proven that we can work around the legal system, and that we don't necessarily need a comprehensive venture law or something like a really amazing regulation to do it well, because we had to work around different capital control requirements, and we've managed to actually make investments, like safe node investments in Delaware-based companies, which is not very easy for a quasi-governmental fund, given that we're taking government funds and somehow have to invest them in companies abroad, right? And we've figured out a workaround that sets a really good precedent. You know, instead of just refusing startups that are based in Delaware, we've just decided that, okay, we'll adjust ourselves to accommodate towards that, which is how it should be, you know. We didn't want to miss out on the best deals, and those are going to be our better deals, you know, the ones that are actually based in the proper venture jurisdiction, right, like Delaware or Singapore. So I think that what we've done sets a really amazing precedent, and I'm hopeful that a few other banks and telcos that are, you know, pondering on getting into the ecosystem, into the venture ecosystem, like Telecom is looking at supporting startups. Whether they'll do a venture fund or not remains to be seen, and a few other banks as well. So I think that's what's coming next, that they'll build upon this and that they really like the returns that we're seeing, because effectively our fund is at about our NAV is about $3 million right now, whereas, and we invested 2 million of the fund. So it's pretty good returns in about a year and a half so far. Yeah.
Thank you, Abdul. Dumitru, how about the venture fund and the situation in Moldova? I mean, it's in a very early stage. You already, I mean, done. I mean, what is the, if you can give us very shortly a brief and how we can maybe benefit in this region on development?
Yeah, okay, I'll try. The first thing, we have some startups which are really made sure we have international clients, but the thing is, last year we have a first pitch of venture VCs from Poland, Romania, and this is our first year when we did that. And they were amazed. They say, okay, we'll come back. The thing is, in Moldova, we haven't have these accelerators like with international experts. And the thing is, a lot of startups, they were made for local. They didn't think about the global, like the international market. And if you compare Moldova with 2 million of people and Kazakhstan with 20 and Uzbekistan with 40, you'll say, oh my God, this is why VCs, like, they think, okay, they think very little. But now all the things are going to education, bringing international experts. Actually, the EBRD, a partner, is also a partner of our trainings, bringing international experts and just widening. I think we already have some startups with millions, 10 of millions already within the Series A, but they're too low. But someone said, like, every country needs their Skype, like the first unicorn, the first, I don't know, big company, and after that, like, people get inspired. But the second, as I say, we need to shift the mindset. But our local VCs, we talk about only about, or like ABRD, we're international partners, or about business angel network, but it's very hard to convince me for a software company.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Aitugan, your company, your fund did a good job already. We see the presentation, and you also cooperate with global funds, the VCs, etc. Where do you see the main problems in terms of Kazakhstan on the development? If you can highlight maybe a few of them.
Yeah. I think my colleague Murat Abdrakhmanov already highlighted the key issues. It's a chicken and egg problem. The lack of experienced potential GPs who can raise the funds, who can invest, who understand the specifics of venture capital investments. It really restrains potential possibility for startups to raise the capital. The other issue, I think, the other issue is our current regional problem of economic and political uncertainty. Still, we have like very big currency fluctuations, political instability, and it's really difficult to attract international investors given these uncertainties in the region. I think these are the key obstacles.
Yes, and also one of the good things what Kazakhstan did is creating of AIFC, because it's a good platform to opening the startups, the investments, and it's the rights are here protected. And it's a good for the investing and the bringing the money. And now we have the here international organizations, IFIs, the government. Murat, what do you think? What kind of help we need from these organizations? How we can get the support, how we can cooperate in order to step change and facilitate the growth of investments, foreign investments, the startups, and to make this region attractive? Yes, Murat, yes, please.
From my point of view, the role of international institutional investor is very important, particularly for developing market like Central Asia. It means that institutional investor like IFC, for instance, it's a real door opener for developed markets. Organization, and who, like, if they take part through portfolio funds to some of the projects, they it's look like they put stamp that it's reputable, that it's good quality, and how to say it, it's a global quality projects. And therefore, I think that it's very important that this institution will come to our market and funded our local funds, maybe together with our Qazaqstan investment fund, with some Uzbek investment fund together. But participation of the global institutional investor very important. It's definitely, and it's difficult to overestimate it.
Thank you. Jay, my question is to you. How we can bring from the Silicon Valley some blue chip VC funds or super angels to this region? What should be super sexy, exciting thing that they are in focus this region? I know it's too far, maybe not so interesting. What should be done that we can attract?
Yeah, this is a challenge that's not just unique to Kazakhstan, right? It's a challenge throughout the world, and we're all trying to solve it. Just to add a little color about my background, I've been in the world of corporate venture and innovation for over a decade, and I've talked to so many corporates as well as government entities about how do we unlock innovation and bring it to the global stage, right? But it really has to start with local opportunities first. You know, how do we encourage corporates to understand that startups aren't a service provider, right? How do we encourage corporates to co-innovate, co-create, and bring challenges, surface challenges, so that the next generation of entrepreneurs are really here to tackle these opportunities? And again, you know, this is all about ecosystem collaboration and creating that flywheel. Because what's challenging from Silicon Valley especially is that the last stat I saw, there's over 750 venture capital groups just within Silicon Valley. And that means that there's that many startups, quality startups, so they don't really need to leave the country, right? So that means that the founders in Kazakhstan has to be able to compete at that global scale and be that much more attractive so that the investors will want to come and make that effort to come here, build that relationship, establish that brand, and further continue to invest in the Kazakhstan, you know, startups from Kazakhstan. So, you know, there isn't an easy answer. Again, I think it's going to take time to create the success story. From what I understand, there's 4 unicorns already. That's a great sign, right? But again, you know, where's that awareness? Why isn't TechCrunch covering it, right? And so as this ecosystem matures and becomes a lot more stronger and gain that momentum, I think naturally people who understand this region will be attracted. The other part is, you know, language and infrastructure, right? Like, you know, I came here and I was like, how do we take a bus? How do I talk to, you know, the merchants over at the Green Bazaar? And so there's still like a language barrier. And so, you know, me being just not even having a foreign tongue, it was really hard to communicate, right? So as this next generation of entrepreneurs are growing and developing, they're going to have multiple languages. Whether it's English or another language, it doesn't matter. But they're going to be, again, positioned better to compete at that global scale. And so I feel like things are very promising. It's just that how do then governments, local corporates help accelerate that awareness and success stories? And so I think that's a puzzle piece that's yet to be solved. But again, you know, if you sample the success stories from other geographies, I think there's enough hints that we could translate that culturally to how to benefit Kazakhstan and the ecosystem here.
Thank you, Jay. Abdul, in terms of Uzbekistan, I mean, the ecosystem is also there doing well. We can see the Ministry of Digitalization, also IT Park, they are developing all these things. But what do you think, what else we need to development of IT funds in Uzbekistan? What kind of support we need from the government, IFIs, the international organizations, and the private sector?
Yeah, I think just that's stuff we're working on. So we have the studio. We're also doing an incubation program that Sturgeon Capital is leading. And so Aloqa is joining that program, hopefully. And that is on a much larger scale. So educating 200 would-be founders at once and, guiding them individually into teams and having them validate their ideas, talk to customers, and then eventually build an MVP. And we'll give them grant funding as well. So that program is underway. It'll be launching in about a week or two in Tashkent, and we hope to bring that to Almaty and other places as well. So that's something that we're working on. I think another thing would be, the market, at least Uzbekistan, needs an exit. So Kazakhstan has quite a few on a smaller scale, like I think 10 to 30 million is fine. That's something that we're aiming for as a studio, that in the next 2 years, the companies and teams that we build will be bought by regional conglomerates, companies like Kaspi and Uzum, and they will potentially for prices like around $10 to $50 million, so we don't need to aim for unicorns. Our aim is specifically in that range, such that these founders get a good exit. They are able to reinvest in new startups. They become more financially able to build something else on their own, be a second-time founder. They're more seasoned, and it also inspires people that we can actually, that they don't have that within the government bureaucracy. So I think the private players, what we're organizing our studio to be, is to basically fill in these gaps, educate angels, prepare these founders, and prepare them for the right exit.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Abdul. Yeah, would like to add? Yeah, please, Jay.
I'm just going to elaborate on this a little bit, because I keep hearing IT funds, right? And venture is about investing in a business, in a scalable business. And although it's nuanced, it's the tech sector, it's IT. To me, it just sounds like we're investing in technology. But we really need to be investing in businesses, right? High scaling, high velocity businesses, because that's really what's going to create the alpha, the IPO markets, et cetera. And so I don't know how nuanced that is in your venture studio, like how much you teach, but I would love to learn more. Like, how do you get, a tech-minded entrepreneur, maybe an engineer, to really shift to think about the business and value creation?
Well, you can have one founder focus on that, right? So what we're planning to do right now is, we'll initiate that process for them, do the initial sort of talking to corporates, ease them into that process. That's something that can be taught. I think I myself naturally, I'm more of an engineer background. I used to be a DevOps engineer, but these days I can really, kind of connect the dots between corporates, come up with creative business models, and that's actually something I'm leading now. So I think I've totally made that transformation myself. So I think it's something that we can totally teach, and then find the right product managers and salespeople that can lead that within these startups, to focus on actually the business side, come up with the business model behind these, right?
Yes, thank you. And also on development of these funds, we have also some ecosystem points like strategic investors, strategists, and also angel investors. For example, if you just took the two countries, Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan, in each country, the data that we have is more than $20 billion on deposits. It can be also invested like in angels or other startups. So my question is to Murat, and what we are doing also like ICLUB, like Angel Investor Club, most of the cases people not aware about how the angel investment VC is working. I think here should be also the improving awareness from the ecosystem players, including the government, including the funds, including the startups, all the accelerators. And my question is to Murat. What do you think, Murat, how we can develop further angel communities, syndicates, angel investors, that more entrepreneurs would support the young generation and invest to the startups?
First of all, I would like to say that angels, business angels, it's unbeatable element of venture ecosystem. It means that startupper, it's young people who doesn't have enough experience, and what bring the angel. Even it is not just money, because it is not a huge money. It's every check for business angel, it's $10,000, $20,000. It's not a lot of money. But first of all, they bring own expertise and experience and network connections, and therefore develop angel environment. It's very, very important in the country. And we personally here in Almaty and in Astana also developing this through our angel club, UMA Club, and even tomorrow we start investor schools for for angels. Yes, because what it gives the market. First of all, it's we give education for angels, how not to lose money, because venture investment is most risky. Second, it's we connect investor, angel with startuppers, with companies. And I think that also government through the whole institution could put some efforts like Astana Hub do it. And I am personally also involved in this action to develop angel environment and to help and educate it. Yeah.
Thank you. Jay, the question also to you, how we can improve considering the Silicon Valley expertise? What would be your recommendation to develop the angel communities, angel investors, maybe like a short top 3 bullet points, yeah.
of bringing, sorry, so the question is how do we bring
how we can further develop the angel investors, which is part of this ecosystem?
I think it was said best. It's really about this is a high risk asset class, right? So I think a lot of the angel investors come from different industries outside of tech, whether that's from real estate or oil or whatever it may be, or private equity, banking, right? Like you have to understand that this is high risk, and you have to understand that the majority of the startups fail. So you have to have that grit and understanding of the portfolio model or portfolio theory and apply that. And so there's a lot of education that needs to happen, and let them know it's okay, right? It is okay that some of these companies are going to die. Actually, the majority of these companies are going to die. But you know, if you're investing in the founder, the next time this founder says, okay, I failed, but I want to do another venture, they're going to be better, right? So we have to, as angel investors, we have to accept that risk tolerance and enable these founders. And you know, if you fail once, I hope that the founder's not going to fail exactly the same way, right? We're going to fail forward, and that's going to breed success. That also embraces this culture of failure. And again, I think a lot of that has been in discussions over the last couple of days. So it shouldn't be anything foreign, but really like, how do we ingrain that in their head? How do you have to, again, go through that experience. You know, my first couple angel deals, I lost out, right? And I was like, oh man, it's such a cool idea. But as you get comfortable with risk, you're gonna start assessing and looking at companies different. It takes experience, right? And it takes a long time to exit. So if you put in, you know, 10K, 100K, whatever it is, a lot of people think, oh, okay, you raised your Series A, I'm going to cash out. It doesn't work that way, right? So again, that the sophistication and education has to happen. Again, I understand that it's happening today, so it's just a reinforcements. And I think, you know, bringing in people like Marvin, who was the keynote, he's talking from experience. And when you hear it from the other people saying, oh, okay, even these, you know, Silicon Valley investors, they're failing, right? Like they're you know, startups are failing for a lot of reasons. And we're always happy to share those conversations in public or in private so that we could help educate that failure is an option. It's going to happen, but we also want to make sure that we're going to back and support the founders that are going to succeed.
Thanks, Jay. My last question to the all panelists, I would like to ask you two short, and after that, if we have time, we can get some questions. What will be the only single thing you think the benefit on development of IT investments in the region, Aitugan? One single.
I think it may be further financial support from the government by providing further grants, maybe low-interest loans to the VC firms in order to increase the potential investment to the new startups. Might be very helpful.
Sorry, because of the speakers. The question is one thing we should improve to benefit more investments in the country? Yeah. Oh, okay. For us, the most common main problem is immigration, and this is what IT investments in the region and our region help it. People are coming back, and what I say is the human capital, the retention, and the retention of people in the country. Yeah.
Thank you, Abdul.
I think more wealth for all of us. Yeah.
Say that again?
More wealth. Wealth creation, yeah.
Jay?
There's data here that says startups create jobs. It creates economic uplift. It has been demonstrated. It takes time, but again, some of the data points that we saw earlier shows the indications. It's going to create jobs. It's going to create economic uplift. It's going to create wealth. And so, yeah, that's the main reason we want to see this economy grow.
Thank you, Murat.
It's a way to the future, particularly for new generation.
Thank you. Guys, we are open to taking some questions from the hall. If you have, please raise your hands and you can ask your questions if you have. If you don't have, would like to thank all the panelists for great and interesting the panel. Let's make a big applause to them.